So we are here at the World Hydrogen Congress 2022 with Charley Rattan. So Charley, can you just tell us a little bit about how you're finding the event so far?
Yeah, it's hi everybody. It's been a very vibrant conference this year, much bigger than last year's event in Amsterdam. Twice as many people through. I got quite a vivid session yesterday. I did two sessions, one on offshore wind and hydrogen, the second on ammonia and hydrogen, standing room only for the second one. So it's been very, very dynamic. And today it's a chance for me to go around, hear other speakers, engage with the supply chain, and of course talk to yourselves as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant. I mean, standing room only, that's pretty impressive.
Yes, it was pretty busy. I did the same course a couple of years ago on ammonia. It was tumbleweed. I was lucky to get a dozen people in. That's not the case anymore. For some reason, ammonia, of all things, seems to have really gained traction this year, and a lot of interest in it. Yeah. So I can expect more courses from them on ammonia next year.
Wonderful. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think there have been some major projects gone into development. If you think from an energy storage point of view, which ammonia bizarrely can carry 4 times as much hydrogen as hydrogen itself. So that's one thing that makes ammonia very attractive from a storage point of view and a moving point of view. The second thing that makes ammonia attractive from a storage and shipping point of view is that liquid hydrogen is quite tricky. You need to get it to minus 253 degrees. Can be done, but it's expensive, a lot of overhead. If you mix it with ammonia, that goes to about minus 33 degrees. Still cold. My freezer at home is about minus 20, so it's turning up a notch or two. It's something that's relatively achievable and in much more economic sense as well. So that's one of the reasons that's pretty scary stuff, ammonia. From a storage point of view, I would put it pretty close to the top. So that to answer your question, I think it's because major ammonia schemes are now in development. Some are almost in production. A major announcement in Vlissingen, just down the coast yesterday. Yes. They're building an ammonia storage facility, so very relevant to this discussion.
Yeah, brilliant. And what do you think the main challenges of storing hydrogen are?
Yeah, okay, let's have a think. Well, it's everybody remembers the Hindenburg, that's the start, which may or may not be laid at hydrogen storage. There's some debate, but as far as the stakeholders are concerned, it's the Hindenburg, it's hydrogen, so you've got to get past that. So a challenge is safety. And they don't want to have another Hindenburg. So that's number one, accurately or not. So therefore, it will self-ignite. So anything above, I think, 500 degrees, and you're in trouble. So don't let that happen. Sounds easy, but don't. So don't let it get too hot, otherwise it will self-ignite. It's very light. So I think it's the lightest of the materials out there. So if there's a leak in a tank or a pipe, it will find it. It tends not to be in the pipeline itself, it tends to be in the joints and the end pieces of it, the valves and the various infrastructure around it. But you must make sure that your pipe and storage is robust, otherwise hydrogen will escape. A couple of other nasties about it is when it does ignite or burn, you don't see it, certainly not in daylight. So you need to be mindful that it could be burning and you might not even be aware it's burning. You might need to think about some night vision equipment. Fire brigades have been looking at that for storage and pipelines. So it's very light. It will leak. If there's any gaps in your system, it will find them. It takes some compression, which takes cost and effort, and then the self-ignition issue as well. So they're the key ones, the key problems of it. Yeah.
Sure. And have you seen any particularly innovative hydrogen storage solutions?
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah.
I suppose if you were to look at a sector which is really keen to nail the storage element is aviation. Aviation is obviously moving away from kerosene, which is what it uses now, and it's going to start using hydrogen. It's already happening. I've just been talking to Schiphol. Starting with the ground equipment, so the little tugs that we see on the ground and the other ground operations, but also moving to the aircraft themselves. Weight, as we know, in aircraft is crucial, so the storage becomes crucial. Now, I've seen some sometimes fanciful designs, but there are some new, I think they're using nylon and polyethylene. These have to be light and they have to allow the hydrogen to be stored. You might need to compress it, which needs to be strong, and you have to be strong in adverse conditions. It's cold, minus 50 degrees up there. You need to test it over time. You need to test it for all the things you would test for aviation, which is pretty rigorous. But anybody wants to know more, I do run a little experts group on hydrogen storage. You will see the odd item on aviation developments, innovation, should you want more details in there. So there are some positive signs coming through from that side of the storage hydrogen sector, and they're here. There's some of it here in this conference. We've heard little bits about initiatives and steps forward, but it's not going to be tomorrow. I suspect it will be in the longer run for aviation. Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a long-term process, isn't it?
Yeah, for aviation it is.
Yeah.
There's shorter solutions elsewhere. Yeah.
Sure. And I suppose, to finish off, what is your message to our audience, the tank terminal operators and the like in oil and gas at the moment?
Well, the world is changing. Most of the big oil and gas majors are well aware of that. We've got Shell just down the road, my old company from here. They signed up to net zero, the energy transition. BP, Total Energies, they've all signed up to a greater or less extent to the energy transition. So therefore, I would say that actually those involved are in a very strong position. They've got the skills, they've got the knowledge, they know how to move sometimes tricky substances around to store it, ammonia, hydrogen, high compression, refineries. All these are knowledge bases known to oil and gas, but it's perhaps less well known to others in the sector. So I say they come from a very, very strong baseline, as long as they're prepared to roll with whatever emerges from the innovation and then ensure that it's done safely. Then I think there's a very bright future for the oil and gas in the energy transition, not least to here in Rotterdam, which is Europe's major port.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure. So good luck with that.